Okay, so it did occur to me that I ought to explain the reference that I had previously made to outer darkness with regard to the Bible, and here we are. This is from one of Jesus's parables in Matthew. Apparently, in Matthew, 3 times outer darkness is referred to. That's just what I saw. If I'm wrong, well, it means they were wrong because I'm trusting them 3 times. 3. That's a significant number. Anyway, and throw that worthless servant outside into the darkness where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. But I remember it best as outer darkness. Oh my gosh. This is a very hard saying indeed. I'm giving everything I have. Actually, I'm giving more than I have to give for this ministry, and apparently I'm rejected by Christians. I'm rejected by family members. And by rejection, I don't mean all out hated necessarily, but that could come into play from time to time. I'm talking about ignored, as if put away into a closet like crazy Aunt Mary, when all I'm trying to do is use my unique perspective and wonderful rhymes and good sense of humor for the promotion of the gospel. I would rather be living in darkness today than tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I mean, really, if I have no friends, again, it's like, what? I'm still a little bit busy. It's really a little bit sad. I'm hearkening back here. I do not wish to hearken back to painful memories unless it would somehow benefit another human being. This memory is so embarrassing. It's really just as bad as my whole high school and junior high career and my elementary school career. It's just like, well, society, society. That's how it is in society. So it's embarrassing. I tried so hard to make friends with a Christian lady who went with her husband to a particular church on the west side. Now, the west side is not considered to be anything other than the hood these days in Columbus. It's really not. And I thought, well, she's very humble because she and her husband attend this church on the west side, which happens to be close to certain relatives on the, you know, when you have relatives that aren't actually related to you, that's called by marriage. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Let me say no more. And I thought, well, she's a nice lady and she just so humble that they're going to keep attending this church in the hood. But not humble. I mean, listen, have I always had problems? Always. And the problems came out because we agreed to meet up at this park somewhere on the east side of town. When I say town, I mean Columbus. I mean not the east side, like, the east side, like, no, not the near east side, right? The near east side is never a good side. Well, in my experience. But it's like toward Plain City, let's say. And I was really embarrassed because all of a sudden I was having problems with the brakes on my used van, and they would squeak when I would apply them. So I tried not to apply them very often. So through this particular Columbus, city of Columbus in Ohio, Metro Park, I'm following my friend very closely. And because I don't want my brakes to squeak, because I didn't want to be embarrassed that we hadn't gotten our brakes fixed when we probably should have. And this guy, this mall cop stops me. No, seriously, he stops me and says, "You're following this lady too closely." I'm like, "You son of a bitch, go fuck yourself." No, I didn't really say that, but it's like he flashed his mall cop lights at me, and he said, "You didn't stop. Why didn't you?" I said, I'm here at the park with my friend. No, really, I wasn't trying to menace my friend. I was embarrassed because anytime I would tap the brakes, ding, squeak, so very few people know how that is. But I've had 9 children, so you understand if you have given it all. To be parents, if you have given your everything just to be a family, maybe you'll understand. And you weren't born to a vast fortune. You'll understand that sometimes you think that it doesn't matter that you get your brakes fixed, which I should have. But I never should have gone to the park with this lady because after that encounter, I really embarrassed her and she really snubbed me. She snubbed me terribly. And I can't remember whether it was a month or two later or whether I called her or she called me and she said, "Oh, yes, I had a bonfire for all my friends last weekend." And obviously, I wasn't invited. Now, you're supposed to be a Christian homeschooler. You completely humiliated me. That kind of sin is not excusable to God. It's not excusable because Jesus said, "Whatever you have done, whatsoever you have done to the least of these, you have done to me." I remember that hurt very deeply. I don't remember this supposed friend's name, but I remember being hurt so deeply that I would never want to be hurt again. And that's why I do not try to join any church anymore, because I am sick and tired of the hypocrisy. Thank you. Goodbye.